Viewer discretion is advised. Your fave will be criticized.
That's Shan.
That's Chris.
We are CCTV, the nonstop pop show.
And join us for another round of Is It Boppin', for the biggest K-pop releases of March 2023.
Looking for an awesome global pop music podcast? Well, look no further, because Shan and I have the inside scoop with extensive experience performing on stage and working at record labels. We review and deep dive into your favorite artists' songs and careers, and also interview music industry professionals, including artists, producers, choreographers, and everything in between. So you can join us on Patreon at patreon.com/cctvpops and become a part of our amazing crew, which includes Lisette, Lily, Emily, Kevin, and Juliet. Subscribe now and let's explore the world of pop music together.
Thanks to all of you who have voted in the polls on Patreon and across our socials. Your input helped us decide the songs on this episode, which really surprised me what the results were, because I looked at our script and I was like, what? Huh? That's awesome, okay? And Twice and BamBam were very close, but did not end up making it in. Sorry, every vote does count. But if you do want to see our reaction to those, be sure to subscribe to our Patreon, because that will be a Patreon exclusive. And also, if you want to join in on our discussions or our votes, make sure to subscribe and leave a comment with your picks. All right, so this episode will be discussing some of the top K-pop releases from March 2023. So let's get into it. Is it a bop or is it a flop?
This is It Boppin'? Here, we listen to the songs and discuss the production, lyrics, videos, and everything in between. So let's find out, do we have bops or flops? Yes, and the first song we're going to talk about is Circle by ONEW. And this one was done by Kim Ina, Harris, and Yoo Young Jin.
This one it just really shows why he is good at what he does, you know? Like, he's very good at a ballad, you know? And also it's nice to hear his kind of tone in K-pop, especially in the soundscape of it being so high-pitched and very like, woo, or rap focused. I like this song because the chorus, just hopping right into it, is probably like one of my favorite things to hear, because it sounds very hopeful. And it's so interesting to hear how certain chords and melodies inspire and bring about happiness. Like, he doesn't sound like completely happy. Like, the whole song isn't like this, you know, joy fest, like Dice was previously or something like that. But it's almost like, hoping for a better day. Like, you know, like the rainbow after the storm kind of thing. His tone in the song is very like gentle and understanding. And something about the lyrics being like the circle of life, or like how life is a cycle, and how all the people we meet are going through the same things at different times. Like, the sun is setting on someone else's time, and you know, that kind of thing. Or like the moon is coming. We all have something going on. Same 24 hours in a day. But I like the way this was done, especially with like the chorus, the choir in the chorus. That like, things like that stood out to me. Like, the verses are great, don't get me wrong, but of course the chorus is what you want to hook people. And I was hooked. It wasn't like, you know, bombastic K-pop track, but I liked it.
Yeah, ONEW has become a really interesting solo artist. Like, I think all the members of SHINee have, but his lane is very interesting because I think you can kind of feel that he doesn't really care about being super commercial. I think everyone else kind of does.
Yeah.
But with him, it's not that way. So it makes his whole discography a little more just interesting, I guess. But yeah, I love this one. It's very, very cool. I think the first time I heard it, I was kind of like, like I don't fully get it. And then when I read the lyrics and saw kind of how self-reflective it was, and how it almost feels like someone who's hit like just a new epiphany in life. Like, they've hit some milestone in life that's caused them to be super reflective about their world and their life, and overall just kind of, I don't know, how the world works, which is interesting. And the way it's produced definitely reflects that as well. It's super dreamy, very ethereal. A lot of these kind of like fluttering sounds that are very dreamy around you. And his tone is perfect for that, because he makes it quite hypnotizing. I think, like you said, he sounds very warm, but it's still very pensive. Like, he's in the midst of discovering something and kind of like spewing it out, you know, in a poem. That's kind of what it feels like. So yeah, it's really, really beautiful. And I agree, the choir was a great choice, because it kind of adds this then kind of spirituality to it.
Oh, yeah.
Without it turning gospel. But like, it's interesting. And his ad-libs are great. The ad-libs at the end, yes, he sounds amazing. I love his voice. Yeah.
Honestly, I agree. And I think the video definitely lends itself to like the whole idea of it. I was getting very much everything everywhere at once with that, like, the little flashing
Oh,
in
yeah.
between the scene. I love that effect that you have, like, the subject in one spot, like, in the center of the camera and everything else is changing. The video is interesting to me because you do have those different versions of himself in life. And I think just paired in with the lyrics of what was going on, it's, oh gosh. I don't want to get too deep, but it's quite a deep song. I mean, he's not like one to shy away from that, and I appreciate it. But yeah, like, the video has like childhood places like a school or like a bedroom or childhood toys, chalk, little dinosaurs, little circle things that are flowing into the water. And also there's this one set scene where he's on like this very like childhood TV show, like Teletubby kind of set with the hills. But then it almost looks like the Truman Show with the blue screen and the open door and so it's like he's being watched constantly and he always has to be like this innocent, happy kind of person. And then you see the teleprompter with the lyrics where he's being told what to say, when to say, how to say it. Like nothing is ever right. Everything is perfect, but not really because it's rehearsed. And then at the end you see like these really quick flashes and there's a cell phone with blood on it and rabbits and other imagery with broken things. And there's a lot of circle imagery as well. But yeah, those kind of like juxtaposed images of him being alone in these very like neutral toned spaces that look dilapidated and then this perfectly crafted set. Kind of spooky. But yeah, I like that. Kept my attention.
Yeah, I've seen this video now a few times, but I feel like I need to watch it again, like way more times to fully get it. Because you're right, it totally reminded me of Everything Everywhere All at Once. May have actually been inspired by that because it is kind of like these different timelines, right? In a way, it's like in one life you could be this like host of a kids TV show. In one life you like, it's very, very interesting the way it was done. And yeah, the tunnel, I love the Truman Show reference. That's very, it's interesting. It's like he's traveling through very Marvel, like very like you're looking at all the different potential timelines in your life or maybe moments in your life. It's very, really, really cool. And I think that takes many, many watches to fully get it. Or maybe the point is you never fully get it, which.
Ooh, because life.
Yeah.
You never fully get it. Come on now.
Yeah. So what did you think of the performances?
Oh man. Again, because of the lyrical content and the whole like maintaining like inner child happiness, stuff like that, the costuming has been leaning more toward like Pee Wee Herman and Friends or like, Love Angel Music Baby, very a la Wind It Up,
Pee Wee Herman. No, that's a great reference. Yeah.
Right. With the one I love is when he's wearing the tie and the tie is hanging on his shoulder. I think that's very stylistically cute. I love his hair. It's giving Sunday morning's best. It's giving like I'm going ready to go to church. Like, listen, all the black girls out here, you already know your mama sit there and bumped your ends and you didn't want them bumped. The little crud, little bob looking like freaking James Brown. But luckily his is just straight. He looks really cute in Sunday's best. But yeah, the background dancers are adding to the story, kind of almost like clouds as they float out around him or like get in his way as he walks through them. So I think the whole storytelling with the dancers is great. Because if you're going to have all this crazy choreography, 100,000% effort, at least have the dancers kind of, add to that as opposed to like swallowing him up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate it. And then he has like this weird, like, helpful look on his face. It's great. Sorry.
Yes, his facial expression is very, not silly, but very like innocent. I don't really know. Yeah. Like, they're like in awe of something. But
Ooh,
again, I guess
good
goes
word.
along with kind of like the epiphany kind of thing.
Oh,
Like he's
yeah.
suddenly discovered this like whole thing about life that he's learned.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no,
the
point well made.
choreography is interesting to me. So when I was a dancer in a crew and was going to all these competitions and stuff, there was a time period, like maybe 10 or so years ago, where all the dancers were doing the lyrical contemporary hip hop thing, where they take a slower, more like pensive song like this one and do really hard moves to it, but then it's still very like flowy, but in a hip hoppy way. And this is very that. So that's all I can think of when I see this. That's not a bad thing, but it's just kind of interesting in that way that they didn't just kind of make it contemporary. They just went like hip hop contemporary.
Flashbacks on that one.
The storytelling and the choreography, though, is nice. I think what I noticed the most, which I thought was interesting, was how they use the female dancers versus the male dancers. because they really did separate them. Like there'd be moments where the girls would walk out, and then the boys would be the only ones dancing, and then also vice versa. And then you had little moments where he like partnered with a girl, and then like, or the dancers would form like a little picture, and then he would kind of like interact with whatever they were forming. So yeah, a lot of interesting storytelling here, which doesn't fully mean anything. Like it's not super obvious what it's actually alluding to, which I like, because you can kind of interpret that however you want, I guess. So yeah, I enjoy the choreography for sure, but yeah, definitely very dance crew from a few years ago.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I think this was a nice era for him. He seems happy. The fans seem happy with it, and we're happy with it too.
Yeah.
My score is sitting at a fat 8. It's a very fat 8. We get a full. But what about you?
Yes, I will stick to an 8 as well.
Up next is Tan with Fix You. And the song was done by KZ, Kim Tae-young, Hoff, and Jisung of Tan. So I'll let you kick us off with this one. We have been seeing Tan around, but have not spoken about them. So this is our first time. It's kind of surprising that they made the count.
Yes. Well, yes. Thank you to our patrons who I guess are Tan fans, which is awesome because I am a Tan fan as well, actually.
Yeah, they're actually really good. Yeah.
Yes. I heard about them because of the C Clown connection, right? One of them was a member of C Clown, which I loved C Clown. They were second gen, right? Or were they third gen? Maybe third gen, early third gen.
They were early third gen, yeah. They were kind of like fizzling,
Yeah, but like they never really hit big, but they actually have great songs in their discography. And even though only one member is from C Clown, this literally sounds like their whole discography so far literally sounds like the continuation of C Clown.
I'm in tears. I mean, considering what they could have done, yeah, totally. Like,
yeah, because C Clown, their best songs are exactly this like slightly cheesy, melancholic. Fast song that's actually a mid-tempo, you know?
Yeah, that's funny.
Very late second gen, early third gen, which is very much what I love in K-pop boy bands, especially. So yeah, I love the processed guitar. I love I just love the slight cheesiness of the melancholy.
Yeah.
Like that makes it so good. And the chorus, there's something about the structure of it I really like. Like it's a very actually complicated chorus where every single part but then there's all these extra parts after it, you know? It's not just that over and over again. It's like there's kind of a nice structure to it, which I appreciate, and again, very kind of K-pop from 10 years ago. So it's interesting. I need to learn a little bit more because I can't tell like if they're successful right now or like someone let us know like how they're doing like chart wise and stuff. Like I can't fully tell, but I am supportive. I think a lot of their title tracks so far have been really good.
Yeah, it's been a year for them. So I guess they've been doing successfully enough if their company has enough money to fund them. You know, like hate to be like that, but we all know how expensive it is to be a K-pop group. Oh my God. But yeah, you know, for me, I feel like you said, a lot of it does like second, third gen. But yeah, I can't tell the voices apart yet. Doesn't mean they're bad.
I can't either.
Can't tell them apart. That's my only kind of like quote unquote note for this. The blend of the electronic and the guitar, like you said, it's very much like old. And I wonder how people are feeling about it because this whole like K-pop renaissance, but like it's happening now. Like the old school sound is happening in K-pop and not just like taking from like American inspired music. Like they're actually ripping themselves off now, which is great. Not to say it's a rip-off, but it's like it's one of those things where they're kind of like
they're inspired by their own
musical
genre.
progression. Yeah. So I think it's interesting. I do want to know how it is doing on the Circle/Scotland charts. But yeah, I think this song is interesting. I like their rappers in it. I think there's only like 2 rappers that I caught. But yeah, I appreciate that they're willing to do something kind of sad in the middle of spring upcoming. So yeah, especially with the other songs that were coming out, because the girl group have been smacking the boys out of the water. So kudos to them for coming out with this kind of like, hey girl, I love you. Let's work on this thing. You know, like I like that. You know, take care.
Yes. The video though is okay. There's nothing super memorable about it, to be very honest. I do appreciate the beach scenes though, because it doesn't really fully fit the song, but I like the golden hour lighting of them on the beach and running through the town that they're in.
The attempt,
Yeah, so it's okay.
Yeah. There's some old music videos I can see in this song. Like when I look at them in the white suits in front of like the white building, it reminds me of like Infinite. Like there's like some nods to like old school. Even the way it's kind of edited, I'm like, ugh, this looks like that weird, like overly high quality pig. Oh God. It's just the way the video is. It's not smooth. It's not as smooth as I would like. Like in certain natural scenes, like the color grading, like in the white background with the white suit is very like old school kind of way of like color grading. Like everyone looks very pale. Everyone's wearing white as well. The ground is gray when it's supposed to be black because we all know pavement is black. You know, like that kind of thing. But yeah, it reminds me like old Infinite. The black and white scenes kind of remind me of like it's a little low budget. But it reminded me of Because of You by After School when they're kind of like with the sheets and stuff like that hanging. Again, it was very lazy. Like, the way I have this sheet hanged up was the way they had the sheet hung up in their video. Like, so say what you want to say about my sheet, y'all. He's talking about your boys. But yeah, I think one of the more interesting set pieces were like, where the sunset behind like the walls. So it kind of brought the two worlds together. But yeah, it was a little cheap. And then the dancing. It wasn't bad, but again, it wasn't one of those things where I'm like, wow, this right here is like amazing. And the jacket choreography, the you, it's okay. I mean, I get it, like the jacket, even in the beginning when they're dancing, there's like the jacket on the shoulder. So I guess it's kind of like cool guy, but also what the guy does with your shoulders when it's like, I'm cold. Or it's comforting, you know? So yeah, I guess I like that. I will say though, like for like, they didn't really show it too much, but unless you were looking. But there's like a pelvis tap in the pre-chorus that I don't like. Like I don't know what
specific.
That is. Yeah. I was just
That's
like,
fair.
I didn't want to like not like the song, but then I like watching the choreography and I'm like, what is that? What is that? Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it's in the pre-hook. You see them tapping their stomachs. Like I don't like that. I don't know what that is. But yeah, I mean, they seem like they're really giving it their all when they perform it. So
yeah,
what do you?
I mean, here's the thing. If the song sounds like third, second gen, and if the video looks like that gen also, I wish the choreography also looked like that. Because it's again, I say this a lot on the Is It Boppins. It's too hard.
Yeah.
Like they're hitting so hard. It's super fast at times.
Yeah.
When you're having your solo, you're the one doing the most.
Yeah,
and that's very what current K-pop is. But like it just, the musicality is just not there. It doesn't fit the song. Like why are you moving your arms that fast on a song that is so like melancholic? I don't know. It just annoys me. It just doesn't fit the song. Like it's a more chill song, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't like that. So I didn't love the performances of it. They have better performances in the past for the past title tracks. So yeah. Nah. But I like the song, so I'll actually give the song an 8. How about you?
Actually, I kind of sat it with the 7 right now. It might go to a 7.5, but yeah, I gave it a 7.
All right, so keeping with kind of some of the older pop stars, K-pop stars, we have Kai, who's finally made his comeback after more than a year with Rover, and this one was done by Park Taewon, MAMAMOO, Dara, Valentina Nikova, YNGA, Young Chant, Gabriel Brandis, and Yu Young Jin. And it's actually a cover of Mr. Rover by a Bulgarian artist, Dara, which is why she's also credited and all her songwriters are credited. So yeah, what do you think?
Okay, Kai, welcome back, darling. Welcome back. I like that he kind of went for a more fun approach for this song because a lot of the other songs were like, you know, I'm not gonna hold you. I love me some Peaches. I know Peaches was not love at all because it was very Travis Scott wannabe.
A little divisive, yeah.
It wasn't that divisive, but I like me some Peaches. I like me some Peaches, okay? It would have been so cute if you would have had a song called Cream. That would have been great. Peaches and Cream. Come on. That's just me being hopeful. But yeah, no, I think this is a lot more fun than and Peaches. I like the little reggaeton kind of inspired thing. It's so interesting, again, hearing different cultures. Again, because Dara's like Bulgarian, right? She's not Latina, but I thought she was.
Right.
I looked at it, I was like, girl. I mean, I guess ethnically speaking, she kind of has features very reminiscent of a woman that's from, you know, Hispanic culture. But yeah, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I will not lie. I do like her version because it's like a lot more like, you know, I guess it's higher pitched or whatever. Because I did notice that they lowered it. But yeah, I think the autotune on his voice is good. It's not like off-putting. It adds to the effect of the song. Second verse is definitely a highlight for me. I don't know why I like that second verse. I think I like the cadence of his vocals in the second verse. Kudos to him for belting in the studio in that chorus. I mean, that bridge or the last chorus.
And those ad-libs, yeah.
Yeah. He tried his best, you know?
He did.
Yeah. I like that the lyrics are also confrontational too. Like, you know, with someone of his status, he has been involved in some very mild controversy with dating, like not even anything serious. So I do appreciate him being like, yo, stop throwing my name around. Coming over. I think that's cool, you know? The lyrics kind of date themselves with that come on hashtag me thing. It kind of dates themselves, but it's not a huge deal. And yeah, this song kind of felt facing like, you know, plagiarism scandal bullcrap with the fans. Not for nothing, but if you don't know what the heck, like, oh my God, plagiarism.
A cover is?
Yeah, like that's kind of, it's getting kind of annoying now to this point. Like, you think a company as big as SM with the internet around would sit there and take a whole song? And if they did, like, it's not possible at this point. Like, and if they did, like, I can't figure out how they would get away with it. They're huge.
I mean, this song's insanely catchy. I think even the first time I heard it, I was like, okay, this is going to be a hit, right? And it's hard now, though, because the video and the choreography is so viral that it's hard to listen to this song without also imagining the visual, which is kind of Kai's thing in general anyway. I think I feel that way about most of his songs.
Yeah.
But this one specifically, for sure. So it's hard to kind of just think about the song by itself, but I will do my best. I do enjoy listening to it. It is a very standard pop song structure. And the chorus is very simple, very easy to sing along to. And I think they made some good choices. They actually did take some of the elements from Dara's version. They did add some flourishes to it. They definitely made it a lot more lush for him, which is very Kai. I mean, well, it's very SM really to make things that lush. So it's a nice upgrade, I guess you could say, from the Dara version. His vocals, I agree, they sound good. I don't love his voice normally. Like, it's quite nasal. But in this case, it totally works. I think they've learned kind of where his voice sits well. So even in those ad-libs and stuff, like, it doesn't feel too forced. Like, it all feels very open. Like, he sounds good for kind of where he's at. And so, yeah, and I appreciate kind of the aggression in his delivery.
Yes.
Because, that wasn't always his strong point. So I think it's definitely, his vocals have improved a lot over the years. Yeah.
Totes my goats. Totally my goat. Totally my goatly. But yeah, you know what? I actually kind of had a thing where I was like, oh yeah, is it because the song is good, or is it because that chorus is just repetitive?
That's fair.
Which was kind of dictate what my score will be at the end. I'm not gonna tell you what it is yet though. But yes, going with what you were saying about the visual, I think the video is so funny. Just a hot guy doing hot spy boy things. Like, it wasn't anything serious. Like, I enjoy that. And I enjoy the usage of background dancers. Like, it was so fun to watch the girls dancing with the guys, and how in the video is like interloping and whatnot, and some of the camera angles with him standing with the girls and then looking down at himself, and he's like a reflection of himself. He's by himself. I like the whole, like, him switching identities. I think one of my favorite ones were the Billlie Elliott identity, where all of a sudden there's like a ballerina. Because if you don't notice that the Billlie Elliott was an identity, then you're like, yo, why is Black Swan out here? You know what I'm saying? Like, you'd be like, why is she out here doing her thing on point? And why is he dancing with a bunch of ballerinas? But it fits into that because Billlie Elliott. But yeah, I think it's interesting. Second verse, again, stands out because he has no shirt on underneath that denim jacket, and he's wearing a scarf on his head like a little old Russian maiden. And I don't know why I liked it, but I like it. I don't know what that is.
Well, I love also that he's just performing in that, I guess, ID center thing that they're in. So, and that woman is just like staring at him. Yeah, that makes it that best part for sure.
There's a lot going on, but nothing at the same time.
I mean, I think, I did watch kind of the behind the scenes stuff and everything. And I did like that he was inspired by his own life. Like, he loved Billlie Elliott as a kid. He did take ballet. He's a ballerino, right? So I love that reference. And the scenes with the ballet dancers is awesome. Like, it does add a lot of layers to the whole thing while keeping it all really fun. Really, really enjoy it. I mean, he is such a great performer. That's what he's known for. So his videos are always good. So this one doesn't disappoint at all. The choreo is great. Like, I mean, again, they did an amazing job. I haven't officially learned it or anything, but I feel like I kind of know it because, he got literally, people were saying that he's like uniting the K-pop fandom because he literally got every single active group that's promoting at the same time as he was. Did that challenge with him. And then even people that were not actively promoting, like AT's members. We got Taeyong from SF9, who's a huge EXO Kai fanboy, and he got to do it with him. Like, he brought the people out. Like, everyone was like, I will put on this makeup so I can do the Rover challenge with Kai.
I'm in tears at the makeup. No.
But it's super, super fun. It looks really, really good. It's not that hard. You know, people can learn
Mm-hmm.
it pretty quickly, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And the performances are all really good. We just did that episode that was a rant about expecting our idols to sing live. He's an exception, I think. He's like Britney, you know? He's an exception. Like, if you've got to perform like that,
Oh
if he's
yeah,
that good a performer and you
I'm
need to lip
crying.
sync in order to execute that, that's okay.
You know what? As a solo artist myself, it is harder to sing by yourself than it is
Oh,
with,
yeah,
like 20 seconds of a song altogether than it is like
that's
a
fair.
solo. So yeah, going back to what you were saying, you are like a Britney, but also he's on stage the whole time. So it's a little bit tougher. And he's no Beyonce. I'm joking, but also I'm not. Be sure to tune it, be on the lookout for our Destiny's Child Pop 101 episode. It's coming soon. It's gonna I didn't mean to plug, but I'm plugging. Plug it in, plug it in.
Combining everything, because like I said, I have to include the visual here. So
Yeah.
8.5. How about you?
I'll give this one an 8.
Okay.
Up next is Love Me Like This by NMIXX, and it's done by London Noise, which is Greg Bonnet and Hayden Chapman, Lee Hae-jun, Jennifer, Eun-soo Kim, Jang Eun-ji, Son Hae-mi, Oh Hyun-sun. Why am I getting all these hard names? Weekly, Taeyet, and Gavin Jones. Oh my good. This one's interesting because we have seemed to have abandoned the Chex Mix.
Yeah, can I
And-
just say, yo, you NMIXX fans, you showed up. We got so many votes for NMIXX. Yeah. So thank you. Hopefully you're open to our review.
Oh shoot, right? It's like, here, get the song on a silver platter. It's like the guillotine. Like, no, I'm joking. We're not gonna like.
No.
No,
I
it's
actually
not
don't
that.
hate this song. Yeah.
Yeah, when I heard this song, the way the bass line goes, it kind of reminds me of Sybil's "Don't Make Me Over." Like old R&B
Oh.
fans like don't don't make me. I kept singing "Don't Make Me Over" on this, and I was like, ooh, I should do a mashup, but I can't because I can't produce. But instantly, I was drawn to that because I was like, oh, it kind of reminds me of "Don't Make Me Over." This is fun. Ooh, but yeah. I was kind of impressed with the vocals on this in terms of like them actually just singing and not hollering. Because we all know there's been a couple bit of hollering. I think I was impressed because it wasn't like, okay, listen to us, we can actually sing. We're a vocal group, which has been a lot of the other singles' fault with me. It's always been like, we can scream our faces off. I'm like, vocal talent is also melisma. It's technique. It's also what you decide to do in those certain like moments, not just belting your face off in a high tone. So yeah, I think vocally they sound pretty good. Soleil does stand out, but I'm trying to get used to her voice because she has like a little bit of like a tight nasally sound. Trying to get used to that. Soleil, not Soleil, I keep saying that. The chorus though is a little bit mind numbing. It's a little mind numbing. Love me like this, love me like that, love me like this, and it's a little mind numbing with the repetitiveness of it. I do like it a little bit more than Rover's repetitiveness for whatever reason. I guess because it is so like hypnotizing. But I do wish we would have got a post chorus. Like Rover actually gave me a little bit something else to like, munch on. It gave me a little bit like something to work with. This did not. It just added like, hey, yeah, whoa, and a guitar in the second half of the chorus, which I thought was cool. And I feel like if that guitar was featured a little bit more in that second half chorus, it would have been a great shot, a great instrumental to use for an NMIXX change-up situation. That's a guitar right there. You can do something with that whole like, do something with it, and you didn't. But then again, when these songwriters and these producers get these briefs, I'm pretty sure they probably do want to go somewhere else with it. But whatever they're getting told to make, a lot of K-pop companies like, don't switch up the program. What we gave you is what we want. So, I mean, it's no fault of the producers. I just want to say that now because I think sometimes when we say we wish it would have done that, we kind of don't indemnify the producers because K-pop companies are very much like, we want ABC, not A. No, we want A. No lowercase a, this font, Yeah. So yeah, I think in this situation for them to kind of like abandon the Chex Mix versions of their songs is interesting. Like I feel like it's instead of taking time to figure out like a more proper cohesive formula, it's like put the next song out, but don't make sure it's not too polarizing. Make it more commercial so that we can attract more people. So when we go back to what we usually do, we'll have more fans. And maybe that's the idea. I don't get it. But again, I guess they don't want to turn off too many people because it's only their third single. But that's when you take more time to make better music instead of Woo, it's another rant for another day.
I saw a hilarious comment on Twitter where someone was like, "No, there's still the NMIXX change up because it's a mix of hip hop and R&B." And I was like, no. Please
Girl,
tell me
no.
you just made that up and they didn't say that.
Girl.
Anyway,
Girl,
yeah, so
stop.
we have not been shy about our feelings about NMIXX since before
Not
they even
shy.
debuted. And look, I'm not a fan of the change up that they've done in the past. However, I agree with you in that there is a way to make the change ups good. So I'm a little disappointed in them that they just abandoned it altogether.
They were like, ugh.
Yeah. Like, I
Alright.
feel like they could have just worked a little harder to like make it more palatable. Anyway, my reference actually, or what this reminded me of, was actually Wonder Girls Like This.
Oh my God. Like this,
yo, like this.
Yeah. It's the first dance I learned how to cover.
So it's not as cheesy as that one is. This one's a little more refined, a little cooler, but that was the vibe that I got from it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that was kind of my reference.
Wow.
I love the pre-chorus in this. The harmonies are really, really beautiful, and I like the melody a lot. So definitely big shout out to that part. Yeah, the chorus, I actually like the chant. Love me like this, love me like. I almost wish it was breathier than they do it. Like, I think I appreciate that it's slightly slurred and slightly chill, but I think it could have even been more chill just to kind of get it slightly more dynamic with this really like sharp beat, this really like hard hitting beat.
Yeah.
And then when the second half, when the guitar comes in, so when I first heard it, I was like, oh, please tell me they sing it the second time and you get like a bunch of harmony.
Love me like
And they
this,
almost
love me
did
like
it. They have it in the
something.
back. I wish they
Yeah.
took out the I wish they took out the chant, the repeated chant, and only did a 5-6 part harmony sung. That would have taken it to the whole level that I wanted it. Because right now the chant continues and those harmonies are quite in the back in the mix.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, that was so close to the way I want it. So anyway, that might just be me, but it was just almost there. But I do like the guitar that comes in. I like the intensity that adds for sure.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if you are going to do something that's so repetitive, boost it with that's my thing. Like if I kind of do something repetitive in my songs,
and they
I try
did
to
boost it, but not in the way that I had pictured or the way that I wanted it to go. So that's just me. But
that's interesting.
To be fair, though, I like the song a lot more than the last two title tracks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was not great either.
Oh, I'm not even gonna think about that pre-release song. There's a reason I didn't include it in the list when we did the polls. I don't even want to talk about it.
And he's like, no.
No. Yeah, but what did you think of the visual, though?
Oh, wow. You know what? This is one of those things. Again, you done abandoned all of this cartoonish buffoonery for the sake of what? It's almost like YP Entertainment doesn't know how to balance too much and just enough. Because now you got this video where there are some like whimsy, like the NMIXX fantasy world. Like it's in the refrigerator or like whatever, like the house that they're in.
You got the jellyfish like going around in the bedroom.
Right. At the crib. But then you get to like the dancing scenes and like put them girls on the cyclorama wall. Like they'll be fine. Or like put them in front of the white room. Yeah. Or put these or like put these girls on a como se dice? How you say? Put them in a dark room with lights, but don't change the clothes. Are you kidding? Like that, like for it to have like a guitar that kind of sounds rockish, that's when you put them in the black and the leather, or at least put them in like not silver. Silver would have been a little cheesy, but like black and leather denim, just not plaid. Change the clothes, like the way they were dressed. And then the floral scene, I felt like that it was okay. Like it was just giving. All right, when they're done filming their dance scene, put the grass on. You know what I'm saying? Like put the turf down. Like that's what it was giving. I do like some of the clips where they're like looking at the transparent like floor with the flowers. I like that. I love videos that have that. I wish they would have been dancing or like performing more on it instead of picking up flowers. I'm like, oh my God, the flower. But yeah, I feel like again, it's one of those things where it's like they have this image, they have this concept. Y'all blew your whole budget on the first 2 singles. Now suddenly you don't have money for the budget, and they're wearing the same clothes that they wore in one dance scene throughout the whole videos dance scenes. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we always talk about how less is more, but this is the one time where you could have just tried a little bit like with the costuming and
well, my issue is that you could use these sets and this video concept for literally any song almost.
Yes.
Like there's nothing about this video that seemed catered to the song itself.
Yeah.
That was more so my issue with it. Like, it just felt very generic. There was nothing that
Yeah.
special about it.
No.
I think the girls themselves, though, you can definitely tell they're more comfortable on camera now. There's a little
Yeah.
bit more presence, so that's really good to see.
Yeah.
I'm starting to kind of recognize certain ones a little bit more, which is
Mhm.
good. So yeah, I'm just a little confused by the concept itself because it feels like they kind of had these sets and the whole idea fleshed out before the song was even written, and they were like, "That's the video for the next single, regardless of
I'm
what the song
crying.
sounds like." Like
I'm
they're going to be
crying.
in a white room, they're going to be in a dark room, then they're going to be in a bedroom, and then you know what I mean? Like it's flowers. Like it's
Yeah.
just like okay, like I don't know. Like at least
Yeah.
their older videos, like they really fit the song. At least, even if we didn't like the
Yeah.
song, like I can appreciate the visual, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah,
This is
I don't know, a little confused.
Mhm.
Performance wise and choreo wise,
Yeah.
kind of the same issue with Tan. Like I kind of wish the choreo wasn't as jumpy as it is. It's very like Zumba at times.
What?
And
Zumba.
yeah, because it's like you know, and now
I'm
everyone go like this. And not
I'm
everyone, like, I
tears.
don't know. That's just kind of what it felt like because, again, love me like this, love me like that. Like, that's kind of lazy. It's like kind of chill. Like, why are you like doing the absolute most? You know what I mean? Like, while you're doing it, it just doesn't match the song. Like, again, like, I just don't understand that. Like, it doesn't need to be going at 100% like the whole time. Anyway, also, I do appreciate though that they were singing live. And even in
Yeah.
that dance practice, they were singing
Yeah.
live. We got real harmonies that are live as
Yeah.
well, which is very rare in K-pop. So I can very much appreciate that. So thank you, ladies, for that. So I
Yes.
enjoyed hearing live vocals, but yeah, the choreo doesn't really do anything for me. So
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I actually like the love me like this and the love me like pointing. Because like even like choreographing, like we both have choreographed pieces,
Yeah.
right? For me, I don't think I would change it too much, but I get what you're saying. Because they're not like a sexier type of girl group, it's almost like what else can they do? I guess, love me like this, love me. I guess it would have been basic hip hop, if anything, like really basic. But I guess this is memorable because the hip shaking. I like the hip me like this. I think because they rock so much, it gets a little bit like.
well, I think even the way you're marking it right now, though,
Yeah.
even if you did it at that 60%,
Yeah.
60, 70%,
That's what I'm
instead
saying.
of going
That
at
rocking,
100.
right? It's
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
rocking. It's the rocking because I like the love me like this. Love.
Yeah.
I like the subtly. But yeah, no, I have a lot of the same notes that you have. So at this point, like we're at the same page on this one. How would you rate it though? What's your score finally?
You know what? Amongst the NMIXX songs,
Yeah.
it's pretty good. Let's be
Yes.
real. So I'll give it a 7.5. How about you?
Ooh, you know what? Okay. I will give it an 8 because I feel like they're going in the right direction without like
Yeah.
copying any other girl groups. I'll say that.
Nice. Nice. Moving on to MAMAMOO Plus with GGBB. And this one was done by Kim Do-hoon, Lee Sang-ho, So Young-bae, Cosmic Girl, and Inner Child. And so this is actually two members of MAMAMOO. Is it their first release as a duo? These two?
Yeah, I think so. As
Yeah.
the two of them, yeah, actually, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
they did like little
Solar
like
and Moonbyul.
subunits in the
Yeah,
back,
yeah,
like on an old album, but like just kind of being like silly. Like
Mhm.
it wasn't like official release like this one. So yeah, how do you feel about this one?
Well, okay, so first off, I don't fully get why they're a duo because it literally just sounds like a MAMAMOO song. You know what I mean? So maybe just the other two are just busy doing other things, and the two of them were like, we want to do our thing. But I feel like the song just sonically just also could be a MAMAMOO song, so that's why I'm kind of like, what's the point of that? But
Mhm.
that aside,
Mhm.
the
Okay.
two of them do have a great dynamic. I think the two voices do sound good together. They're very different.
Yeah.
So the dynamic is good there, and you get a lot of variety when you listen to the song. Not even getting to the switch up part yet, but the most of the song, I appreciate that it's bright, but the way it's produced there and the way they're saying it, it's still very grounded in a way.
Yeah.
So overall, it has a nice feel to it. Like it's kind of just a fun song, nothing super groundbreaking or anything.
Right.
But yeah, I enjoy it for kind of just like what it is, I guess. But the change up, I mean, we can talk about the little switch up in the middle. But what do you think of the song?
I think it's cute. I think that conceptually it is very cute. It's very on brand for them.
Yeah.
I love the do re mi fa sol la moonbyul. I love that. And lyrically, like there's this
Very fun. Yeah.
yeah, and it had nothing to do with the whole topic of the song, which is good girl, bad boy, which I think is great because I was like GGBB, go go baby again, like, but it wasn't go go baby again. I think that's a great concept. The whole like why do good girls like bad boy, like it's a tale as old as time. But yeah, the doo-wop sound was like missed in their releases. Like lately it's been very like Latin influenced or like or Ford
Yes.
commercial influence or whatever kind of like car commercial, like you know, like the guitar from the car commercial
Yeah.
for for Starry Night. Sorry. Yes, I've said it. Starry Night, sorry, Moo sounds like a Ford commercial. But yeah, I think it separates itself a little bit more than separates itself from the more recent singles, but kind of lumps itself in with the earlier ones. They even
Yes.
mention it with the MMO, with the song, Mr. Ambiguous. But yeah, I think the song has a switch up that NMIXX was looking for. That's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy right after, right? But yeah, I think it's interesting to hear this kind of doo-wop sound in K-pop because I think a little bit before Taylor Swift, what's that girl? Meghan Trainor had came out. They were doing the whole doo-wop kind of sound with their 4-part harmony, blah blah blah. So to kind of hear them go back to this after so long with Meghan Trainor now being a little bit more popular and getting like TikTok famous now, it is so interesting because again they've been doing it. But now, for me, this sounded like a Meghan Trainor track. But the only thing that differentiated itself and gave it what I wish Megan would do was Moonbyul, giving it like, you know, some raps. And then Solar actually being like really soulful and vocal tone. So I think it's interesting to hear those two voices together doing something that is already happened. It's so weird. It's like this weird thing because they've already done it. But why go back to it now? So I think it's really interesting. But yeah, that switch up was interesting. I don't know how I feel about it. Because it was not the same key.
Yeah.
And it's they've done switch ups in their songs before. It's like not like a new concept for them, but this was not graceful. It was not smooth, and it just felt like it was trying to cater to their sensibilities as them both liking more edgier hip hoppy kind of concept. But yeah,
but then the production itself like was bizarre. Like it's
cheap
like
sounding.
not even if you just isolate just that part. I agree. It's very tinny. It doesn't feel like I don't know. It doesn't feel well rounded at all. It's just like I don't know. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't not my favorite. And then when they do it live, we're going to talk about that later. But when they do it live, it's like they bring in Chico Malo, and as opposed to this random music video breakdown. But yeah, so let's hop right into the video really quickly.
I mean, they got a budget like this. We love silliness with a budget, you know. The sets are really, really fun in this.
Yes.
The two interacting is also really, really cute. I love all the little interaction moments between the two where they're like pushing each other. like it's all just really, really fun and silly. And it made me like the song more, which is the point of a music video, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, again, I enjoy it for what it was. I feel like they're kind of at the point in their career where they can kind of just do whatever they want as well. So taking that into account, I enjoy it, but it's nothing I will watch back a ton of times, I guess. Yeah. What do you think?
Oh, dang it. You know what? I think we were talking about, I mentioned them very briefly when we were talking about the Busoksun song. They have that kind of chemistry that 17 has, where they actually like each other to a certain extent where it's like, you know what? I can stand to be with you for a subunit. Like they have that kind of chemistry. And they also kind of came out around the same time where they were actually covering each other's songs for like shows, like really cute ways. So yeah, I like the video of it. It reminds me of Fighting's video where it's like a set.
Yes.
That's like displaying these girls in this apartment, like I'm breaking up with him. I'm not going back. And they're like, oh my God, don't go back to it. Well, you know, it's so funny. Like, cause literally we all do that. Like all male or female, you do that. But it's so funny. Like as a fellow female or watching your girlfriend do the same thing she said she wasn't going to do with the person she said, you know, it's funny. I like that the dancers also act into it as well. I think the styling was interesting. I love the dancing with the girls, with Solar and Moonbyul dancing with the guys and then bringing them together. And it helps with the styling because Moonbyul is more tomboy-ish. So she's just more like the guys. And then Solar is more feminine, quote unquote. So she is just with the girls. So it's really cute. And then bringing them together and then having Moonbyul and Solar dance together at one point. I think that's what makes them kind of stand out. You have like this cute little sapphic moment where it's kind of fan service because people have already shipped them together because it's Moon and Sun.
I see.
Yeah. So they're a cute little friendship ship. So yeah, it's nice to kind of see that. But yeah, I think the mix with Napunom, Chico Malo is way better of an incorporation than that random dance break. And I hope they keep doing it for the live shows. Like right now we only have the KBS one. But yeah, just don't put that hip hop back in there, please.
Yeah, but the performances are fun. Like they're good performers. You know, they're well seasoned at
Yeah.
this point, and they always sing live, which is always great. You know,
Mhm.
they always sound good as well. That's what they're known for.
Mhm.
So yeah, again, just kind of seeing them interact on stage is really fun, and the interaction with the dancers as well. Like they give eye contact to their dancers. Like the dancers are very much a part of it, which I appreciate.
Mhm.
And yeah, all the little pictures and stuff within it are good. You know, the dancers kind of doing different poses in the back, and then the two of them kind of walking through them and stuff. Like all that is really enjoyable. So yeah, very entertaining to watch. I think as a song, just kind of just for something fun for the two of them to do, something fun for the fans to do. I
Yeah.
appreciate it for what it is, but it's not gonna like bring
Mhm.
any new fans or anything. I don't think so. Yeah,
Ooh, yeah.
yeah. I'll stick to a 7 as well.
All right, up next we have Jisoo with Flower. Good, good, good. Me and Batim, Korean Batim is terrible, but yes, this is done by VVN, Kush, Vince, 24, and Teddy Park, the usual YG suspects.
Hmm.
Yes, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing at this point, considering the hums I'm getting, but yeah, considering the the tone of this song, it's interesting to hear what kind of music we get from this group with all the time they've had in the careers
Yeah.
and all the pull that they have, like all the reach that they have as a group. It blows my mind.
Yeah.
This song it reminded me of Selena Gomez, like when she was going through her like look at her now phase. Watch it go. Look at her now. Very just one note, minimal. It
Mhm.
also sounds like an upscale version of Solo. Like it could have been played for a soundtrack of like Emily in Paris or some like Netflix rom-com breakup scene where the girl's like getting her stuff together and she's like, I'm done. I'm out of there. I'm out of here. Like the lyrics are cool. I like the whole thing about, the scent of a flower is the last trace of a girlfriend. That's cute. But again, like the song doesn't really deliver in the way I would expect the main vocal to deliver. And I don't care what anyone says, like you can be a huge fan of Blackpink, you can admit that this is not like vocally amazing. And a part of me feels like they should have got other producers for it. Because it just sounds like, again, something that Jenny could have done or like the group could have done as a whole, but just more stripped down. And I feel like the producers are kind of just like, well, we know it's going to be a hit, so might as well keep our names on it. It doesn't feel like they were like, let's give her the best of the best. That's just how I feel about it. So sorry,
Yeah.
Blinks. I'm sorry, Blinks, but
Yeah, I think I'm a little confused because, this is her solo debut, and it just
mhm.
doesn't feel like much fanfare was really made of it on any side. Like, there's
Mm,
nothing that makes
mm.
me feel like she's super passionate and excited to be a solo act. There's nothing I'm hearing in the song that is like, okay, like this is making a statement. Like, this is
Yes.
Jisoo coming out as
Yeah.
a solo artist. Like this is her moment. Like I'm not
Yeah.
feeling that from anything in this era so far.
Yeah.
So I'm just slightly confused by what the point of all of this is if you're not gonna differentiate her from the rest of the Blackpink stuff that she's already done. So I'm
Yeah.
just slightly, yeah, I'm just a little confused by the whole thing.
Yeah.
But as a song, it's fine. Like it's what I expected. Like when I heard that it was gonna be these producers and writers, and after going to the concert, she did "Liar" by Camila Cabello as
Oh,
her
yeah.
solo track. This is very much in that vein as well. So
Oh,
if I
yeah.
was gonna predict what this was gonna sound like, this is pretty much what I was expecting. Whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know. Like, do you want to be super safe with your day solo debut?
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Maybe. Um,
Huh.
yeah, her voice really is quite confusing in this for me. The
What?
processing is very odd in
Oh.
it. Um, and like I think her tone, I like her tone actually. Like in a lot
Yeah.
of the Blackpink stuff, like I like the huskiness. I like the slight kind of, yeah, I don't know. It's quite low, like
Yeah.
her
It
voice,
just is a
and
low
it's
tone.
interesting.
Mhm.
But in this, there did some weird processing in it. She sounds super nasally. There's no dynamic in it. She's singing the whole thing in this like
Mhm.
throaty kind of
You know,
belt.
yes, you're so right. Because even on the other single, not single, but the other song, Eyes on Me, All Eyes on
Yeah,
Me, it's almost too high for her. It's almost too high.
right.
And it sounds like it's
So
throaty, like you said, nasally.
yeah, and then they added just extra kind of like tinny processing on it that doesn't help it in any way. So yeah,
Yeah.
just not a huge fan of that. The dance hook moment after the choruses, I
Oh,
don't even know what you call that, but not my favorite. It's very piercing, like not in a good way.
Oh no. See, again, it's giving. It's when my thing is, if you're gonna have like a song that just goes into this random dance part, the vocalist got to be on point. Otherwise, you're just using it as filler, and that's what that was. It was filler. She got to give me something before, and she didn't give me that before. It was just like, all you smell is a flower. It's just like, okay, like,
Yeah.
come on. I've heard her sing Clarity by Foxes and Zed at the first World Tour.
Oh,
She can sing songs that do that. I wish they would have just given her an EDM song, called it a day, and not this, if they were going to do that. Like, All Eyes
Yeah.
on Me leans more toward EDM. That's,
yeah.
oh God. But
Yeah, and then the song just ends. Like there's no build in this song. It literally from the start is literally just one note the whole time. Like it just doesn't go
Yeah.
anywhere. I don't know. I just don't really get it. Visually, she looks beautiful in the video. I'll give her that.
you know what? I got
What did you
nothing to
think of the video?
That's one of those things where you just look at each other and I had nothing to say. Listen, again, this is not about like our personal preference, even though it kind of is, but
Well, it
also
is,
it's just
yeah.
like, but it's not just solely based on that either. Like nothing about this video gave me this is who Jisoo is in this group. Like I guess she has all the pretty scenes in the video. Like with CL, the baddest female. With Dara, you had Kiss. It wasn't a great song, but you knew her personality. With Bum, you had all of her ballads because she could blow her little face off. What do they? La Lisa. That's her name is the title of the song.
I mean,
Was
even
it great?
Rosé with On the Ground, like you got some uniqueness there for sure. Yeah.
Yes. Like you could tell she's the acoustic princess of the group. What does the song say? What does this video say about Jisoo? She's the pretty visual.
Yeah, she's the model.
She's the model.
That's what I got. It literally looked like a 3-minute fashion commercial.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And unfortunately, when you have such a stage as being a member of Blackpink, you're going to get scrutinized. And right now you're getting scrutinized. This is not, again, it's not her fault. She didn't write the song. But it's one of those things where I'm like, babe, you didn't have to make a solo thing. And I feel like this is just kind of like, oh, the Blinks want it. And if you're going to do it, at least be like, can I get a better video? Like, it's just, I mean, she looked great. I like the little fashion moments where she's wearing her fancy outfit.
Yeah, she looks amazing.
Really cute.
Yeah.
But then when she's dancing in some of those scenes, they're very ungraceful. It's like she's throwing her arms, like in the pre-hook, she's throwing her arms as opposed to kind of like, you know, reaching and actually
more flowy.
elongating her limbs. It's more just like of a more like an aggressive throw, which I get, but there's a way to throw something aggressively with it making look nice. She doesn't move her chest really. Like when she's dancing in certain parts, she just moves her arms as she's walking in the pre-hook at one section. The hand thing, that was cute. Like her hands in front of her body for the flower, that makes sense. Anything that requires her to like move around, you didn't really see that. Like she didn't move much in this video except to like look at herself in the mirror. She's sad about the breakup. She's holding the scarf and it's flying in the wind. That's it. So when you get to these dance scenes, it's kind of just shows her weaknesses. Like a lot of these scenes weren't like her dancing.
Yeah, so we're recording this before she's performed it anywhere because it was released the last day of the month. Yeah, so I'm curious to see the whole choreo because obviously we only got little bits of it in the video. Yeah, I mean, just, I don't know. I have, leaves no impact. I don't know. I don't even know what to think of it, honestly.
Listen, as a fellow
Just
mild,
confused.
like alto, mildly fake soprano, like I could write a better song for her. Like I'm not doing this with her. Because she can do it. We both heard her do something at least a little bit more dynamic than this.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
No,
So
like I said, I like
heard it.
Jisoo's voice. I like her tone. I think she has potential as a solo artist, but this just doesn't give a
lend
statement of any
itself to
sort.
it doesn't lend itself to any kind of like, wow, she is their main vocal and it's not fair to her at all. Teddy and the gang, y'all need to stop. Stop
Yeah,
it.
like if I didn't really know the members of Blackpink and someone was like, oh, one of them just went solo, like check her out, I'd be like, okay.
That's exactly.
I would get nothing. Yeah.
Exactly. It's not fair to her. She deserves better. But yeah, that being said, what do you rank this song?
I mean, as her first solo song, very meh. So 6.
I mean, that's pretty low. I'll give it a 6.5.
So much better. Oh, man. All right. So as we mentioned, Twice and BamBam almost made it in there, but will not be featured on the episode unless you're a Patreon member. We're going to record special little episodes just about these songs only for Patreon. So if you're interested, go check us out at patreon.com/cctvpops. But otherwise, cut.
fans of all these groups and soloists, what do you think of these songs? Let us know which upcoming K-pop releases you'd like to see us featured next month, or if you want us to have us just talk about any kind of K-pop song, we definitely do that. And please comment below or message us at CCTV Pops on all social media. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications for our YouTube channel. And if you're enjoying the show on a podcast platform, please give us a follow, rating, and a review. Until next time, that's Chris.
That's Jan.
And we are signing off from CCTV, the non-stop pop show.